Hello and welcome to Abundantly Minimal. My name is Sarah, and today I have 6 different kitchen swaps or hacks to help you both simplify your kitchen and your cooking, which makes it a lot more fun to cook, easier to stick to your health goals, and you'll even save money on groceries. So let's jump right into it. The first kitchen swap is to batch your kitchen surface clutter. Now, batching is typically used as a productivity tool to help you save time, but we can apply the same concept to our kitchen. If you have ever struggled to find a balance between wanting clutter-free surfaces in your kitchen, but also wanting to keep out certain appliances that you use every day or nearly every day and they're kind of a pain to put away and take back out, this is the tip for you. What you'll do is take your total kitchen counter space and you'll divide it up in whatever way works for you, such as half and half. Half of your kitchen counters will be designated as clutter-free zones, so you keep out pretty much nothing or very few essentials. Then the other counters, not to be a junky mess, but that's where you more so target the items that you keep out. And we've been practicing this in our own life and it's working really well. You can see over here that this particular counter has nothing on it with the exception of that toaster over there. And this means that this is a go-to spot for when we are cooking meals and we just don't have to deal with any mess and clutter in these areas. However, on the other side of the kitchen, still overall pretty clean and overall clutter-free, we do keep 3 things out at all times. This includes the drying rack, the blender, and the air fryer. These are things that we use every single day, sometimes 2 to 3 times a day, and due to their size, the cleaning, that sort of thing, it just has made sense for us to keep them out. But we still can enjoy the benefits of a clutter-free counter while also keeping these things out over on one side. So in your kitchen, could you shift the way you store items on your counters to give you both a balance of clutter-free and also keeping those essentials on hand? That could be a great swap. Second minimalist kitchen hack here today is to switch the locations of your items based upon ease of use. Now this might sound pretty obvious, but when was the last time you really stepped back in your kitchen and thought, is this the best possible place for me to store these items? Let me give you a couple examples to illustrate this point. First, our silverware drawer. We currently keep our silverware right here, and this has been a great spot because it's right by the kitchen table. We've got the stove right here, so if we need something while we're cooking or making food, it's so convenient. Now, previously it was just across the kitchen, but that was extra steps every single time we needed to get a different utensil. Another example is with our tea drawer. I have tea nearly daily, but for whatever reason, the tea used to be stored several drawers below, and I had to bend down to pick up whatever tea I wanted, even though the items that had better access, better convenient locations, I didn't use as much. So we just switched those around, and now it's a lot more convenient to get tea because it's right there. The third location swap we've used has to do with how we organize our fridge. I'm not proud to say that I was not using the crisper drawer of my fridge properly. I would put different produce in there and then sometimes forget about it. It was out of sight, out of mind, and then unfortunately I had to dispose of produce that had gone bad. I switched this by putting some of my favorite items or my go-to regular items that I always have and remember to always have in the crisper drawer. Through this switch, I'm able to use all of my fridge storage and overall have things more spaced out in the fridge, but I'm not wasting food the same way and I can see the different produce I need to eat up so it doesn't go bad. So I encourage you to take a look in your kitchen. What could you possibly move to make something more accessible or a better fit for your kitchen? And I bet you'll be surprised with what you might find. Kitchen swap number 3 for a more minimal kitchen has to do with the concept of a core meal. A core meal is essentially a meal that you eat very regularly, maybe daily, maybe many times a week, and you keep those ingredients on hand. It's nourishing for you, maybe there's some meal prep involved, and this is a great way you can prevent ingredient overwhelm in your kitchen. You can make the most of meal planning and saving yourself time with cooking. And it makes it easier to eliminate that decision fatigue from having to make too many decisions. Now, the core meal can rotate. It doesn't have to be the same thing forever. I know for me, this core meal has been more so a brunch style item. I don't usually eat much for breakfast, so my lunch can be kind of breakfasty. I used to be using oatmeal as my core meal, and now I make a breakfast veggie scramble, which is so delicious. But the idea is it just simplifies life. It's one less decision you have to make. Whenever we're able to automate something and not have to make a choice, we are saving our energy for whatever else is more important, and we can make sure we're prioritizing our own health and wellness. Kitchen swap number 4 is mini meal prep. Now, if you are someone who loves meal prep, you're definitely more advanced than this tip. But if you're not really a fan of meal prep or haven't yet tried it, this tip is for you. Now, with mini meal prep, you're not actually scheduling set times of your day to make these meal prepped meals. Instead, you're taking times where you're already cooking, little pockets of time, and just either making more. So maybe you double a recipe so you've got one additional meal for later in the week. Maybe you focus on prepping certain ingredients, such as in my scramble, I use half an onion, but if I chop up the other half of the onion while I'm making it, guess what? My onion is already chopped for the next day and ready to go, so it saves me time. I encourage you to be a bit more mindful as you're preparing food today or tomorrow or whenever, and see if there's anything you can do where you've already got the stuff out, you're already in the process of doing that cooking, if there's little things that you could do that will just save you some time going forward. Kitchen swap number 5 is one of my favorites because procrastination is actually a good thing with that tip. But first, I do want to tell you that this video is done in collaboration with over 20 other YouTube channels as part of a clutter-free January. This is a month-long challenge that's hosted by Minimal Mom. Amazing channel if you haven't already checked her out. Throughout January, we are going to be uploading videos to help you tackle different types of clutter in your home, starting with kitchen clutter this week. Next week, wardrobe and clothing. Week after that, paper clutter or paper organization, and finally, sentimental items and storage areas. So you're going to find so much helpful content, and I will always be linking the playlists to these videos below so you can see the full library of options, so many wonderful creators. I'm sure many of them you're already following, but you might discover some new ones you want to check out as well. Now let's get into that procrastination related tip that I promised. This tip is called One Day Later, and it's simple. When you think you need to go to the grocery store, push it back one day later. Put it off till tomorrow. The idea is simple. It just gives you one additional day to use up ingredients that you have. Sure, you might be out of a few of your common essentials, but that can be extra motivation to work through items in your kitchen that honestly should probably get used up. Whether that is with fresh produce or items in the back of your pantry, whatever the case is, challenge yourself to eat up some of these other items. And the best part, you'll have a little bit of extra space in your fridge, your pantry, or freezer before you put your new groceries in, and it also prevents food waste. So it's a win-win. My last swap today is to help you with cooking, and this is especially if you find yourself in a bit of a rut with recipe inspiration, but you're looking for something that's simple and that doesn't require you to have to do a ton of research. And 2 tips I'd recommend. Number 1, if you're trying to eat healthier or eat more at home, but you also aren't really sure what to make, I actually recommend that you check out some of your favorite restaurant websites. They'll have menus online and often list out some of the main ingredients that are in your favorite dishes. For example, if you want to make a smoothie every day and you're not sure what you should put in a smoothie, why not look at a smoothie chain website to see some of the combinations that they've put together and give those a try. If they're on their menu, they're probably pretty good and could be a worthy option. Maybe you want to have more salads, but you feel like you're putting the same boring ingredients in your salad every time. Why not look up a nice restaurant in your area and see what types of ingredients they include in a salad to give you some inspiration of what you might want to buy and try. Another great option I recently discovered for new chefs is actually to use the websites of those different meal kit delivery services like a HelloFresh or Blue Apron, not to actually buy the services. Of course, if you want to, you can. I find they're more expensive than my regular everyday cooking, but many of these services provide links to their recipes and the recipe cards on their website, even if you're not a paid subscriber. Now, there's a few reasons why I think this can be helpful. Number 1, the recipes themselves tend to be a bit more beginner friendly and simpler to make. They also might not use that many ingredients. They often have really nice visuals that show you every step of the way. And the websites themselves are not really chaotic with ads. I totally understand why bloggers use ads on their websites, but I know there's been a few sites where I couldn't even make it to the recipe because there were so many ads and videos all playing while I was trying to see how to make this dish. So I think that could be a worthy option if you take a look at some of the common delivery services and see if you like looking at the recipes they have and basing your shopping list and cooking around that. That wraps up this selection of kitchen and cooking swaps, but I encourage you to check out that link in the description to the playlist for so many other wonderful videos to help you declutter and simplify your kitchen. And if you're new here to Abundantly Minimal, you can subscribe right up here, and then you won't miss my next video all about clothing decluttering. I'll see you then. Bye.